Welcome to Read Your Comics. Today I'm looking at Web of Spider-Man, number 100. Before I get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the people who have subscribed. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. So this book is another part of my journey of exploring the top books of 1993. I've talked about how that's a pivotal year of comics. Sales were kind of at their peak before the speculators decided to start leaving the market. And it's books kind of like this that caused the speculators to kind of start weeding themselves out, I think, over the next year or so. Obviously, we had like the big sellers of Turok 1, the Return of Superman stuff, Batman Nightfall, all of that going on in 1993, but also all of these gimmick covers going on. Particularly, Image was pretty guilty. Valiant did it some too, but Marvel in particular was taking any opportunity to do something like this. All the Spider-Man books, well, the main 3 Spider-Man books, not the adjectiveless one, all had some sort of hologram cover like this. They were all hitting some sort of milestone. Like Amazing Spider-Man hit 375. It has a gold Venom cover with this same like web holographic. Spectacular Spider-Man 200 had a silver version where it was fighting the Green Goblin. And then we have this one, Web of Spider-Man number 100, introducing the Spider Armor. So, pretty good gimmick going on here. A lot of people love this, though. I posted this on Instagram, and it was a hit. It was one of my more engaged posts, I would say. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look at it in a little deeper dive in this series. So let's get into it. I already talked about the cool cover. It is a pretty cool cover, especially I've got it under these lights, and it really sparkles. So I don't really know what else was going on in Web of Spider-Man at this time. I mostly just read Amazing Spider-Man and the adjectiveless Spider-Man. The other 2 titles, I didn't really get into those much unless they crossed over. And eventually, coming up soon, the Clone Saga is going to begin. And all the titles are constantly crossing over, much like the Superman books were doing. So I can't really tell you what's going on here. I know we have Dragon Man, the Eel, different characters. It looks like Spider-Man was already in the middle of something big going on. I don't know. Is this the Chameleon? He's turning into Spider-Man. I don't know who that is. Dragon Man in one of his random times of being a villain or being a misunderstood like creature. So I think I read this a couple weeks back when I posted it on Instagram. I don't recall exactly what was going on here. This is obviously picking up from the previous issue. It's pretty good action going on here, though. I guess I should have pointed out who the creative team is. We have Terry Cavanaugh as writer, Alex Saviuk as the penciler, and Rob Talker. Oh wait, no, that's the editor. Joe Rubenstein is the inker. So, I mean, this is pretty typical 90s style, but not as flashy as something like what McFarlane did or Larson did. So those guys had all left to Image, and this is who Marvel was left with. But pretty good flow here. I feel like Mr. Saviok has a pretty healthy following. I like that Dragon Man right there. Yeah, lots of cool pages here of him trying to tackle and slow down Dragon Man. Essentially, he has this battle, but they all get away, and Spider-Man kind of just escapes. The Rose was an ongoing subplot of a villain, and this is Wilson Fisk's son. And the Rose was going on, like, gosh, back into the 80s. I remember reading stories with the Rose in it. And it used to be an Amazing Spider-Man, so. Then we got this guy who reminds me of Kraven, but he's not Kraven. Introduce the Fist. Yeah, this cat. This is looks like Spawn. What is his name? I want to say his name is Night Stalker. No, that's not Night Stalker. Well, anyway, this isn't even. Is this the same fist? So he hits that boat. Yeah, it's the same fist. But now he's in an alleyway, attacking some, like a mugger or something. Night Watch. His name is Night Watch. Let's go back here. Oh no! Oh, he's got the glove. So then he comes up. Is that him coming up from the water? But this is the same glove right here. Oh, he's missing a glove. Ah. Okay. I was like, this is a weird transition from the alleyway. Okay, so that other guy had stolen one of his gauntlets, I guess. Very Spawn-like. Supposedly Marvel was coming after a lot of the Image guys for things like a skull. Like they were saying it was too much like the Punisher. And I think McFarlane would have had a case right here, definitely, to go after Marvel. It's assuming, I don't think he came out before Spawn came out. Anyway, hop back over. Peter's back at Empire State University, and he's working on something to help with his villain problem here. And the Rose has organized something. I don't think I skipped a page. Yeah, I did. Working on something in the student lab, and all the other students are kind of, watching him. And he's like, I've got to focus on what I'm doing. I am making the spider armor. There's some more back with Night Watch. He's coming to get his glove back, I guess. I guess that's what's going on. We've got the one panel of him here going in the water. And then we've got the fist breaking through. I guess that's just this guy playing with the fist. And then the Rose. I think that's the Rose. Yeah, here we go. So, back to more big villain fighting. This does have quite a bit of action. It was pretty entertaining. And then look who swoops in with his spider armor. And I saw a variant cover of this just recently, like a new one, that made these look more like mirror tiles, as if he was like a disco ball. So I am affectionately referring to this as Disco Ball Spider-Man now. But he's got this new armor, and, he took the time to, like, not just armor up, but, make it look like his costume. And with a web pattern, and give him the mobility. So he goes in and he starts fighting all these guys. The dialogue is pretty standard stuff, and it's working. It's helping him out. It's deflecting the eel's electricity, and this guy must control plants, or she does. I don't know who that person is. And here comes the guy with the Night Watch glove being introduced into it as well. So we're starting to see some little like dents and bangs into his armor that he threw together pretty fast at the lab at the university. He's going to throw rocks or web balls. It's pretty action-packed. Like I just keep saying, it's action-packed. It's going on and on and on. Getting the back shot. The guy's knocking down trees with that glove. And here comes Night Watch. He wants his glove back. Most of these villains are kind of typical 90s looking, like this design on her and her. That is so Image Comics 90s style. And this guy, like, appearing to be a Craven knockoff. I don't know if that's what he is, but the little leopard print on his safari jacket doesn't help anything. So this is mostly what I'm... This isn't the eel. Who is this guy? He's like fire and ice. So he hits him with... First he hits him with some cold. Or no, first he hits him with the fire and heats him up. But it looks like frost. Unless it's just kind of melting. on his armor, and then he hits him with the cold. And it's like, stop Spider-Man. But he's going to shatter it out, and luckily he still has his real costume on underneath. So all the hype on the cover for the spider armor. And we did get, how many pages of spider armor did we get there? Let's see, he swooped in. I'm going to say 6 pages. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess this counts as 7. 8 pages. We got 8 pages of spider armor. Here, the Rose is going to take aim. I guess the Rose is after the Craven guy. Oh, look at the gauntlets stopping each other. Iron sharpens iron. So he's going after the Rose, or this guy. The Rose is trying to shoot this guy, but he flips it around, and Nightwatch, I guess, takes the brunt of the shot, and he goes down. So what is going on here? Spider-Man's like calling him a vigilante. You wish, vigilante. Bro, you're not a sanctioned law enforcement officer. So then he takes advantage of Nightwatch being down. Whacks him good. And then we got our Spawn cape going and wrapping him up. Spider-Man takes out the Rose, realizes it's Richard Fisk. I guess that was a big revelation for this issue. Nightwatch retreats to the alleyways. This is so familiar. There's probably more to this character. I just don't know anything about him. I know he got a spinoff and had his own, at least a mini-series for a minute. Well, here it is right here, Nightwatch. Oh, is this Nightwatch? It is. So I guess this is something of his origin. Some kind of portal opens up. Oh, Nightwatch comes through it. So is this not him? Or it is him? This is confusing. So he's like lording over him. But then when he removes his mask, dead. But that birthmark on his neck, that's my face. So this is him, and somehow he's meeting himself. And I guess under the mask he looks dead. It's not going to show it. So he's going to go ahead and take his outfit there. And he's like, it's me from the future, I suppose, so I must see what's going on here. I would think if he is dead, you wouldn't want to go down the same path with the costume. Be like, well, maybe I shouldn't put this costume on and avoid this path of whatever this is. But he jumps right in, takes the gear. So it's not, straight up Spawn-like, but he did control the cape like Spawn does. Kind of neat. He's using the cape there to cling on to the bottom of a plane. Punch through. I guess it's just different enough. And if that is not Spawn, I mean, this was so purposeful. It's kind of a joke. So this is continued in Web of Spider-Man Annual number 9. I don't have that. That's all I got for this one. I mean, for the most part, I think this is kind of a typical Marvel comic of the 90s. It's entertaining. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of action. Nothing in it happens, though, that I feel like, oh, get this because this is this great story. If I were to recommend getting this, it's because you want to collect these cool covers. I mean, these anniversary issues are pretty neat. I did get a newsstand one somehow. I don't know how. I don't chase that stuff down, but sometimes I just end up with them. And somehow this newsstand edition stayed in pretty good shape. especially considering the cardstock cover. That's a good way to get bent and dinged up. First appearance of Spider Armor. What do you think? Until next time, read your comics.